When Tyson Fury stood across from Anthony Joshua at the heated press conference, the Gypsy King erupted in a storm of insults. He declared with arrogance that Joshua was finished, dismissed him as a little man, and wrapped his taunts in talk of destiny and legacy. Fury shouted with the confidence of a man who has convinced himself of his own story, but the tone revealed something else. Every word carried the sound of desperation. Fury, known for dominating press conferences with noise, posturing, and theatrics, looked louder than ever. But history has shown that the louder Fury shouts, the more dangerous Anthony Joshua becomes once the lights dim and the ring ropes close. Joshua's response was cold and measured. While Fury barked across the microphones, Joshua quietly cut him down, stripping away the bravado piece by piece. Fury wanted the press conference to be his stage, but Joshua flipped the script by exposing him as a man desperate for attention. It was humiliation without theatrics, humiliation that didn't need volume or exaggeration. AJ reminded everyone that he is the champion, the landlord, the one who truly fills arenas. Fury may call him a challenger, but Joshua stood his ground with composure, and in that calmness lay his power. Veteran analysts noticed the contrast. Duke McKenzie, a respected former world champion, explained the stakes clearly. Both men can be hurt. Both men have been cracked before. But in McKenzie's eyes, Joshua still carries that fight-ending power. He noted that Fury has often exploded in heated conferences, but the real explosions that matter are Joshua's fists inside the ring. If the landlord unloads, he argued, Fury's legacy could shatter in a matter of seconds. Joshua's dynamite, when delivered with precision, is the difference maker that could erase the Gypsy King's aura in one night. Even Tony Bellew, who has long analyzed the strengths of both fighters, leaned toward Joshua. Bellew acknowledged that Joshua may have questions about his punch resistance, yet he insisted that Fury is not invincible either. To him, this is a shootout where both men will have moments of vulnerability, but Joshua's power and accuracy still make him the man most likely to prevail. Bellew didn't sugarcoat anything. He has always believed Joshua has the tools to break Fury down. Press conferences, theatrics, and insults mean little when the punches start flying. And Bellew's position was clear. Joshua's discipline and calculated approach give him the edge once the bell rings. The discussion around young heavyweights even slipped into the conversation. Bellew warned against rushing new prospects like Moses Itama into dangerous waters. Throwing a young fighter into the mix with veterans like Joshua or Fury, he argued, would be disastrous. Let him develop, he urged. The heavyweight division is already turbulent, and rushing prospects could destroy careers. But when the talk turned back to Fury and Joshua, Bellew's conviction sharpened. He said Fury often plays games, building chaos to cover hesitation. Joshua, in contrast, shows up to fight no matter what. The implication was simple: one man thrives on distractions, the other thrives on discipline. Johnny Nelson also made his stance known. He highlighted Joshua's technical polish and discipline. While Fury may boast about slickness and ring IQ, Nelson argued that Joshua's fundamentals are sharper. The jab, the combinations, the straight shots, those tools, he said, all come cleaner from Joshua's arsenal. Fury has always relied on awkwardness and unpredictability, but Nelson pointed out that such a style turns into a liability if an opponent can impose rhythm. And Joshua has the discipline to dictate pace and distance, something Nelson believed Fury could struggle with. Carl Froch was blunt as ever. He looked at Fury's constant teasing of retirement and asked the most important question: why? If Fury truly believed in himself, Froch argued, he wouldn't play with thoughts of walking away. That constant back and forth looks like insecurity. Froch contrasted this with Joshua's discipline. While Fury creates chaos to mask doubt, Joshua is calm, steady, and laser-focused. Froch suggested that Fury's antics are not the signs of confidence, but the signs of a man trying to convince himself he still has control. Joshua, on the other hand, has never danced away from challenges. He accepts them, and that difference matters. Froch's comments dug deeper into the psychology of this rivalry. He reminded everyone that stadiums like Wembley are not filled by Fury's name alone. Fans flock to Joshua's fights. Even if Fury disappeared tomorrow, Froch argued, the sport would move forward with Joshua as the main attraction. That brutal truth means Fury needs Joshua far more than Joshua needs Fury. And for all the noise Fury creates at press conferences, history remembers the man who brings the crowd, not the man who shouts loudest. Froch's perspective was unforgiving, and it exposed an uncomfortable reality for Fury. His legacy is tied to Joshua whether he admits it or not. Adam Smith echoed this broader point. He emphasized that the fight between Fury and Joshua is unavoidable if Fury wants to secure his legacy. Fury may threaten retirement or shift narratives, but the defining battle of this heavyweight era is still Joshua versus Fury. Smith carefully observed how the fans view this rivalry. They see Joshua as the calm, rebuilt, and hungrier fighter, while Fury often appears distracted by theatrics. Smith's tone suggested that if Fury truly wants to be remembered as the greatest of his time, he must go through Joshua. Anything less would leave his career incomplete, and that is where the danger lies for Fury, because Joshua isn't playing games. He's preparing with precision, knowing that the Gypsy King's bravado cannot protect him under the harsh light of fight night. Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, did not mince words either. He described Fury as unpredictable, inconsistent, and endlessly chaotic. Hearn said nobody ever knows what Fury's next move is, not even Fury himself. One day he screams at Joshua in a heated conference, declaring, "You're finished." The next day he floats retirement rumors, delaying contract signings, or creating confusion with his team. Hearn painted this as a weakness, not a strength. To him, a true champion is consistent, structured, and disciplined. Joshua, in his view, embodies those qualities. Already preparing for camp, focused on the process, and sharpening his weapons, Joshua is not wasting energy on theatrics. Hearn emphasized the contrast. Fury lives in the noise, but Joshua lives in discipline. And that difference, Hearn insisted, will decide the fight. Bellew circled back with his frustration. He questioned Fury's seriousness, suggesting that his outbursts might just be another example of crying wolf. Fans, Bellew reminded, have seen this before. Fury builds drama, explodes in conferences, but then avoids the actual fight with excuses and delays. Joshua, on the other hand, never turns away from the challenge. Win, lose, or draw, he steps up and faces whoever is put in front of him. Bellew's words carried the tone of a warning. If Fury keeps playing games, if he keeps crying wolf, fans will eventually stop listening. The world wants Joshua versus Fury, and if Fury avoids it again, the Gypsy King risks turning the crowd against him. Johnny Nelson's analysis returned to the surface again, and he echoed what many observers feel. Strip away the noise, he said, and Fury is left vulnerable. His theatrics are designed to mask flaws, but inside the ropes, noise doesn't win fights. Joshua, by contrast, is steel. He lets his fists speak. Nelson argued that Fury can humiliate Joshua at a press conference, but once the first bell rings, it could be Fury who ends up humiliated in front of the world. His view was clear. Joshua's composure, combined with his sharper fundamentals, give him the edge when everything is stripped down to the essentials. The fighters themselves also gave their reflections. Joshua reminded everyone that success and failure are part of the journey. He said they took a shot at success before and came up short, but the response is not to run away. The response is to fight another day. To him, that is what being a warrior means. Joshua's words reflected resilience, a refusal to crumble under setbacks, and a belief that destiny still lies ahead. Fury, on the other hand, leaned heavily on talk of being chosen, of destiny, of becoming the undisputed champion. He spoke about history, about how long it has been since boxing had an undisputed heavyweight king. Fury wrapped himself in grand statements, but again, the delivery carried the air of a man shouting to convince himself. As the debate continued, more voices joined the chorus. Some experts, like Carl Froch again, drove home the idea that Joshua is mentally steadier. Fury's constant teasing of retirement, his unpredictable swings, and his chaotic behavior all look like cracks in the armor. Froch believed Joshua is not only prepared, but also the one fighter who can expose every weakness Fury tries to hide. Eddie Hearn emphasized discipline versus chaos. Bellew insisted Joshua has the tools to break Fury. Duke McKenzie said the fight comes down to who lands first, but Joshua's power makes him the danger. Johnny Nelson stressed technical superiority on Joshua's side. Adam Smith highlighted legacy, insisting Fury cannot walk away without facing Joshua. Together, their voices painted a picture of a rivalry that is more than just boxing. It is about contrasting personalities, contrasting approaches, and the fight that will define an entire generation of heavyweights. Froch summarized it best with brutal honesty. If Fury never fought Joshua, the sport would move forward anyway, because Joshua remains the bigger attraction. That comment struck at the heart of the matter. For all Fury's achievements in theatrics, his place in history requires Joshua. Without AJ, Fury's career risks being remembered as incomplete. Joshua, meanwhile, has already built a legacy of resilience, discipline, and redemption. His losses do not diminish his stature. If anything, they have made him more battle-hardened. Fans crave redemption arcs, not endless theatrics, and in that context, Joshua's story resonates deeper than Fury's circus. The tension continues to build. Every heated press conference, every insult, every explosion from Fury only raises anticipation. Joshua, by contrast, grows calmer and sharper. The more Fury shouts, the more it feels like an act of self-assurance, a man trying to drown out doubt. Joshua does not need to shout. His calm presence, his reminders that he is the landlord, his steady focus all send the same message. The time for talk will end. And when it does, the truth will be revealed inside the ring. This fight is more than belts or contracts. It is the defining clash of two eras. Fury's chaos against Joshua's discipline. Fury's theatrics against Joshua's fundamentals. Fury's self-assurance against Joshua's resilience. Every analyst, every fighter, every promoter who has spoken about it has pointed to one reality. When the talking stops and the first bell rings, there will be no hiding. One man will stand tall, and one man will fall. The question that lingers in every corner of the boxing world is no longer about hype or theatrics. It is about who truly emerges as the heavyweight king when destiny calls and the Ring of Fire in Saudi Arabia becomes the stage for one of the greatest battles in modern boxing history.